We are going to now take a look at a program. We are going to find the LCM of two numbers. In order to find the LCM of two numbers, we are first required to find the greatest common divisor, and for that we are going to use the Euclid's algorithm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate implementation of this program using functions. So what I have done is first I have declared a variable called product. You will know why product is required in a while. One variable to store the LCM, one variable G to store the greatest common divisor. Then what I'll do is I would like to show you how you can use global variables. So I'm declaring two variables int a comma b. Since you're declaring them globally, by default they are initialized to 0. Local variables, that is variables defined within a function, do not automatically get initialized to 0. So now I'm asking the user, enter two numbers whose LCM is to be found out. So the user enters two numbers a and b. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first find out the GCD, or I can actually find out the product of the two numbers. In fact, I should find the product first because I am going to lose the two numbers very soon. As you can see, I'm going to process them a into b. I'm going to find the product. Then the reason you have to find the product is LCM is this product divided by the GCD of these two numbers. So I'm going to write a function g which is going to get the GCD, okay, by sending these values a and b to a function called as GCD. All right. So this function GCD is going to return value back to g. Actually, I don't need to send parameters because a and b are global, but still I would like to send them so that you understand how parameters are sent. Then after g gets the value of GCD, I can say LCM is equal to PRO, product, divided by G. So this should give me the LCM. And in the next step, I print GCD is G and LCM is L. But now the task is I have to write the function called as GCD to calculate the GCD. So its return value is integer. So I write int GCD. The first parameter is integer. Okay, let me call it int A, and this let me call it as int B. Actually, it doesn't make great sense to send global variables because they're already available. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to define a local variable called as r with the initial value 0. Then what I'm going to do here is b, while this variable b is not equal to 0, I'm going to say remainder is assign the value a mod b. Okay, I'm going to divide a by b, and whatever is the remainder is going to be stored in r. And the next step, I need to take the value of b to a. This is how I am doing it. Then next, finally, what I am doing is I am giving b the value of the remainder. So this particular thing keeps on happening as long as the value of b is not 0. Then once I'm done, I need to return the value of a. This a value returned gets stored in G, or the GCD. A contains the GCD of these two numbers. So now I have declared a function. It is important that I declare the prototype in main. Otherwise the compiler will flag an error. Alright. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying int GCD, and I'm going to say int comma int. Alright. So that means GCD is a function accepting two integer parameters and returning an int. So you see here it is returning an int, it is accepting int and int. I have a variable r as 0. I am calculating as long as b not equal to 0, I am trying to get the greatest common divisor. I am always assuming the value of a is bigger than b. That is something you need to take care of. Otherwise you need to put that into the logic. So once you do that, it's pretty easy to calculate the LCM and GCD. Product is first calculated as a into b. You need to calculate product before calling GCD because in the function GCD, a and b values will be, original values will be lost. So G contains the GCD of a and b. LCM is product upon G, that will give you the LCM, and this is where I am displaying. So let's try to compile it and let's see if there is any errors. Okay, we are lucky, no errors. Let's try to run it. So enter two numbers. Let's enter 20 and 10. So if you see GCD of 20 and 10 is 10, lowest common multiple happens to be 20. So let's try entering some other numbers. Okay, let's try to enter a little larger number. Let's enter 50 and 75. All right, let's see what is the greatest common divisor and lowest common multiple. So here you see greatest common divisor happens to be 25. Okay, and lowest common multiple happens to be 150 because 50 into 3 is 150, 75 into 2 is 150. That's the lowest common multiple. And GCD is 25 because that is the greatest common divisor between those two numbers, 50 and 75. Obviously, no number bigger than 25 can divide 50. The last number is 25 and that looks right. So I hope you have understood how to use functions. Pretty simple. Just be sure you understand that you need to declare the prototype. These all variables are quite straightforward why I'm using them. So read two numbers, calculate the product, call the GCD function, calculate the LCM by dividing the product upon GCD and going about it. And in case you want to see the function, this is the GCD function. Return type is int, parameters are integer and integer. Here I am doing the logic for calculating the GCD. I hope you have understood this lab exercise number 27.